Hi, this is Javon Bank, Realtor with Kowali Real Estate. If you're a first-time home buyer or a veteran, I'd love to help you find your new home. Call me today at 320-305-4604.
Episode 4, Season 1. Here we go. Can we believe that we're already 4 episodes into this gong show?
That's a month long. 4 episodes means a month if we do this every week, right?
Yeah, and we still haven't had cars on the track here yet. Well, we did for practice.
We're going to have to tell our sponsor, Javon Bank from Quality Realty, that we might need a raise. What do you think of that?
I'm always up for a raise.
The amount of money you guys won playing bingo last week, maybe we...
What are you talking about?
Maybe we should get a raise.
Only people that won last week was the Elks. Anything.
Right.
We'll try again.
You were texting, flashing all these 20s that you won playing bingo, and I suppose you guys blew it all.
You took the bait.
Too many bush lights.
All I did was unloaded my wallet. I was waiting for you to say something.
Well,
about
if it was Jay's wallet, the dust flew out of it, I'm sure, when he opened that baby.
Yeah, no, we didn't do any damage. We didn't disable their trust fund over there by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, here we go. We're finally here. Hopefully we can get this 57th season opener. Is that correct?
Hard to believe.
Hopefully we can get the season opener going and get underway.
The rain's gone out of the forecast, so
it should be. I think we'll get some here a little bit today and tomorrow, which is whatever, but that is what it is. It's better to have it on a Wednesday and Thursday than it is on a Friday and Saturday. And like I said, hopefully we can starting off with a bang with the Structural Buildings Wissota Challenge Series coming to town.
Yeah, this is a little bit different. Usually we try to go 30 miles an hour out of the gate, and this year we're going 300 miles an hour out of the gate.
Yeah, there'll be about 120 down the backstretch, this late model.
Yeah, it's going to be wild. This is different. It's like usually you got time to gear up to events like this, but this year it's like everything at once. So I'm looking forward to it. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's kind of things are starting to shape up over the track, getting all our stuff done, and there's just so much to do out there, and we've had so little time. Like last year, I'm pretty sure we had about a month and a half to get everything done, and now we're squeezing everything into about a week. But we're getting it all done, getting ready to rock, and I'm thinking, I don't know, I've been on the horn all week. Shouldn't say on the horn. I've been on the Facebook Instant Messenger and texting any late model buddies I have out there, which are, I got a few, not a whole lot, but I got a couple of late model buddies out there.
Don't have any friends, Gross?
No, I don't. I don't need any more friends. Might have to prank call one of them here today on one of these podcasts, but I don't know. It's looking like this car count could be pretty good this weekend. It's just my feeling. I think there's a good chance we could have a good car count.
You and I have talked about this more than once, that never believe what a racer says about where they're going until they pull in the gate. But I just got off the horn with Benji from over at Lisbon, and he was going to run an NLRA race this weekend, and it sounds like that might be in jeopardy because of the rain coming in today. And I guess some of the Grand Forks boys are talking about heading down this direction because they're sick of watching from the sidelines too.
Well, if they're going to come here anyway, down this area regardless, why not? I mean, why not hit a $5,000 win show and a $2,000 win show? It's $500 to start Friday night at 994 Sure Step, and it's $200 here.
$250.
So you make it now. Well, it's $250 to start. So you make the show. You're looking at $750, which probably about half your diesel bill anyway. But at least you're getting some money back. But no, $750 is definitely gonna cover some stuff. So we can get some of those boys down. I talked to, of course, you and me went to Mississippi Thunder on Saturday night for that. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I talked to Dustin Strand down there to sound like his late model's not done yet. So it doesn't sound like he's going to get that thing out. But other than that, looking at the Challenge Series points from last year, Darrell Nelson won the points. Everything I've heard, he's following it again. So obviously he's gonna be here in town.
The old Hermantown Hammer.
Hermantown Hammer is going to be here. The old 44. Obviously, he'll probably bring both cars. I would assume he can't run his mod here since we don't have any mod. Are they running mods in Fergus?
I don't know what they're doing up there. I just know they got $5,000 to win late model show, and that's what everybody's coming to watch.
I guess I didn't even really look at that schedule, who they have classes other than the late models. And then, and I don't, like I said, I don't know Darrell. I met him once. Like I said, I don't know him real well. Obviously know of him. Jeff Massengill got second points last year. Everything I've heard, he's coming. And he's obviously a real strong runner. I'm pretty sure he's still in that Kryptonite car too. So, I know he got that thing pretty dialed last year and won some features. So from all things that he's coming, the other big shooters, I talked to Jake Radetsky this week. He plans on coming as of right now. Obviously he's always a good runner, in the 27 Champ Pans car. I think he's won that baby a couple times, hasn't he? Challenge Series.
Yeah, he's won a lot of big races with them guys too. He's definitely not what you'd call a minor leaguer.
Right, and it sounds like John Canton, and Pat Dorr are coming. At least from what I gathered from my sources. Obviously, we all know, at least me and you know, John Canton's kind of slowed down a little bit. He's chasing his grandkids around and whoever else watching them do things too. So, and who knows with Pat Dorr? Obviously he wasn't at Mississippi Thunder. There were some rumors he might be there, but obviously he wasn't there. So maybe he is preparing for this Challenge Series race. And maybe he's going to get up here.
If he wasn't at Mississippi Thunder, it tells me one thing. His Wissota motor's in his car. Because if his open motor was in his car, he'd have been there. I mean, why wouldn't you go race for $50,000?
And every time he usually comes to Viking Speedway, he wins. I mean, it just maybe not recently, but it just kind of seemed every time that Double One Express rolls into town, he's in the front or he's winning at Viking Speedway.
Well, that's kind of the way it is every time he unloads his car, though, Jeff.
Well, it is, but you got to remember they don't run here very often, and
I know
you show up and he's winning a bunch. So, but then obviously he's obviously one of the all-time greats at the Wissota late models. So,
well, there's going to be a bunch of fast cars here. I just saw this morning too that Miller Central Speedway in Miller, South Dakota, canceled for Saturday. So I wonder if we know Searing's coming, right?
Yep.
What about Becker? Becker going to make the trip since they ain't going to race in Miller?
I talked to Cole Searing yesterday. He said no one else is coming except for him. Obviously, Searing's the defending Wissota national champion, so it's been good to have him here in town. He's never ran a late model at Viking Speedway. He's ran his super here a couple times, and obviously ran his late model at 994 last year. But I know he's coming, and he didn't know. From sounds of it, he didn't know if any other South Dakota guys were coming. As of now, he didn't think there was. So. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see.
We haven't talked about probably the most dominant guy at Viking Speedway yet. You know who I'm talking about.
Jeff Henkelmeyer retired, Dan.
Yeah, well, that's a long time ago. Recent. Don Shaw. How many races and what was Don Shaw's winning percentage the last 3 years he raced at Viking Speedway?
It was a lot. It was a lot. I would assume he's getting his car out. I don't know what's going on.
I have a hard time believing he's going to watch a race here.
I mean, I wouldn't think so. But with all the work he's got going on up in I-94 with the new surface, getting all that done, and I'm sure he won't race up there. He usually doesn't race at his own track. But I know he likes coming here and racing. Like I said, he's been successful here and he's raced, and I'm sure the rest of the Shaw trucking crew will be here with the Zimples and Moss and all those guys will be here too.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who comes out of the woodwork.
Steve Larsen, I know Steve Larsen's. He's
driving somebody else's car now.
He's in some number 18 car, from what I've gathered. I can't remember the car owner's name. Rumor is Sam Mars is running the series this year. Jimmy will obviously probably be at the Dirt Kings race if he got his stuff figured out. He had a rough week at Mississippi Thunder. And then it doesn't sound like Glenn's had another car. Be interested to see what Budislavich is going to do.
Budislavich, if he's going to race, is going to come up here, I would think.
You would definitely think so. I don't know. Obviously, it sounds like Jimmy's going to be at the Dirt Kings race at Menominee. Kevin Eder supposedly supposed to be following the tour as well. And it talked to some northern guys as far as the Provenzino, Peterlin, Vestal, those kind of guys. Doesn't sound like any of those guys are coming down. But you never know. Like you said, if you get a little itch and you want to get racing, and once you get here, you don't have to travel much. It's 40 minutes down the road, plus with the start money. I think
if those guys aren't going to come down here and race, they're not going to race till June.
Well, there's a good chance.
I mean, it's still winter up there. They got more snow. They had more ice on their lakes. So everything is at least a solid 2 weeks behind here.
For sure.
And it's late here. So I don't know. I would expect we're going to have a pretty loaded up field of cars.
And Scott Ward, Morgan Ward, looked like on Facebook, Morgan Ward got her car done the other day. Scott was in I-94 last week, correct?
Yep.
So, who knows? Those guys might come around. I'm sure Jordan Tullochson's going to be here. Monty's not running late model. They drop late models on Friday night, so their late models could head up to I-94. So, I would assume he'll be here. I know we talked to Scott Lean at I-94. He's coming. Two of the Myers will be here for sure. I didn't ask. I ran into Greg the other day, but I never asked him about how Casey was doing. Obviously had that farm accident, some concussion issue last year, and he's been out in the 03 late model. But I'm sure the other two Myers will be here, and who else? Nick Panitsky's coming. I talked to him yesterday. He's coming up for sure.
He's fast.
Yeah, he is. He was real fast in that crate, and then
he jumped right into that thing and took off.
Yeah, he's been good. And I don't know. He was still. I don't know if he's still working at QA1 or not. I know he worked at QA1 for a while. So.
We haven't talked about the local young hot rod yet.
Bryce Sword?
Yeah.
I would hope he's going to be here.
He's going to be here.
We should just call him. Well, you're wearing a shirt. Maybe we should just call him. Just say, you know what's going on?
No, they'll be here.
They'll be here.
I know they're going to be here. I have inside information knowing for sure they're going to be here.
So, yeah, that's kind of a rundown of what's going on with that challenge series. So, we're excited. Everybody's excited. I think the fans are going to be excited. And, like I said, it's got some potential to be you get all these guys in one spot. It's kind of tough when you used to run the challenge series. If you run them later, you don't have a chance to get the South Dakota or the North Dakota or the Northern boys and the Wisconsin guys all together. So, hopefully we can get the majority of all those guys together like we used to do back in the day. All those guys would come over here and, take on Zach and Hinkmeyer and Ricky and Wildung and all those boys. So, and then they all kind of meet up. So hopefully we can get that again. As always, I know we talked a couple weeks ago about when we were kids growing up, you'd show up to Viking Speedway and, some random guy would pull into town and you'd be like, oh man, it was like, oh, Rick Auckland's here. Or someone would come over from Wisconsin. Buzzy Adams is here. You know what I mean? It's like now it's kind of like you go to races like, oh, whoever's here, it's here. So
that's just, used to be when we were kids, if somebody, when Jay McDonald came down here from Fargo, that was a big deal because it's like nobody drove 100 miles to go race. That didn't happen. You stayed home, you did your thing. And then when Stu was promoting the place and he'd get Kaziskis to come up here from Greenwood, Nebraska, they'd show up once in a while. And it's like, that was just unheard of. And now you see it happen all the time. It's just, I think some of that's going to change this year with these high diesel prices, but
it could for sure.
That was, I think that was a big takeaway. One of the big takeaways from when we were down at the Thunder this last weekend is a lot of people talking about tires and diesel. You wouldn't think you'd hear much of that with national touring guys, but they're even talking about it, and they got big wallets.
They were in Wheaton. We obviously Dan and I went down to Mississippi Thunder and checked out the old dairy. What do they call that? The
Dairyland
Classic Showdown.
Yeah. Dairyland Showdown.
Watched it on TV Thursday. We watched it a little bit. We went to I-94, sure stepped and watched their opener on Friday, and then we decided, what the heck? Let's hop in the car, head down to Mississippi Thunder.
Grouse was amazed with the high-quality garage sales we saw through every town in Wisconsin.
We found a tow truck is there any tracks out there looking for a tow truck? There's one, somewhere right over the border in between there and Mississippi Thunder. What kind of gas station was that?
I
don't even think it was the name of a gas station, but there's a nice tow truck sitting over in the weeds. If anybody, and was there an ambulance back there too?
There was.
So if anybody's looking for ambulance and or a tow truck,
even comes with the trees growing through the box.
Give Dan a call. We'll get you. We'll get you taken care of. But Yeah, interesting. And I've never been to Mississippi Thunder, and I know you haven't either. So we're like, let's go. Obviously, we know some people down there. We hung out with pretty much with Kyle Hammer and Don Hammer most of the night. And thanks to Don for the hospitality and everything down there. Kyle Hammer's a World Outlaw rookie, and got to know him through my pit guy, Dustin. So Dustin grew up pitting for Don Hammer and ran with Kyle Hammer here a little bit. So we went down there, hung out with the Hammers for the most part, and stayed away when they got busy. And there was so much downtime at Mississippi Thunder, we just kind of hung out down over at the Hammers. And then we went some walking around. We talked to a whole bunch of people. We talked to Don Ishins, Jeremy Nelson, Shannon Babb was pit right next to him. We talked to him a little bit. Shane Sabraski, we talked to Hawk Carl.
Dennis Erb loved the racetrack.
Dennis Erb was... Went over and talked to Dennis Erb, got to know him through my pit guy Dustin a little bit, and he wasn't too thrilled about the race. And anybody who knows Dennis Erb Jr., he don't say much, and he's really obviously super laid back, and he wasn't too thrilled with the racetrack. He kind of asking us what the heck's going on at the racetrack, but so we got a chance to talk to him, and Travis Sauer and his pit guy Kyle. We ran into a bunch of people down there, so we talked to Sabraski for about 10, 15 minutes, so It's good to get a chance to talk to them and a few of those guys, and obviously a lot of cars, 102 classes and 110 or so cars, and it was a long night, but
damn long night.
It was a really long night, and they pushed the night up, started a little early. Hot laps were about 5 o'clock, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, 5 o'clock, and the dust was flying when they were halfway through.
The sun was out.
This ain't going to be good.
The sun was out. The wind was blowing. It's like, 40 late models and 70 mods hot lapping. And so they had a little bit of a tough time trying to keep up with the track, but a lot of racing, lots of heats.
A lot of good racing.
There was, and the big thing was when you go to watch them events, those guys are professionals, and they get after it.
There's no such thing as a shakedown lap.
No. That green goes, and it's hammered down, and let's go. And they're slide jobbing, and they're pushing, and they're banging, and same with the USMTS guys. They do it for a living, and they don't care what the track's like. They don't care if it's rubber. They don't care if it's dry, dirty, rough. When we saw the guys bonsaiing through, how Dustin Sorensen's car ever made it through that heat race is beyond me.
And he never touched the wall.
No, and he went by everybody like they were parked. And it was those guys don't care. They don't care about track conditions. They don't care about anything. When the green flies, it's hammered down. Let's get after it, and let's go. And those guys, and I thought they both put on a great show, both classes.
Have you ever seen a racetrack where if you don't absolutely pile drive your car into the corners, you're going to get passed by 3 guys?
Yeah, and we were talking, Sabraski brought that up. We were talking to Shane. He was driving the Wind 1B main. He was driving Hot Carl's mod, and obviously
Hot Carl Express.
That thing was bolted, is what it was, and led majority of the feature and ended up getting third. But when you get passed by Dustin Sorensen and Lucas Schott, you're obviously doing something right. So, and we talked to Shane. He's like, "Man, this place is weird. You gotta just roast it in the corner. I mean, you can get in the corner darn near wide open." And so, like I said, once he adjusted to that, he got a lot more comfortable with the track. He said, but it kind of raced kind of weird. He said it didn't race like anything back home. Those exact words that came out of Shane's mouth. So, and obviously he's raced pretty much wheelbarrows and everything at every track around in this area. So it's good to get his take on the track and at least what he thought of the track.
Number one takeaway from that deal, Jay McDonald still builds a hell of a race car.
Yes, he does.
Because he's up there against the best of the best of the best. I mean, Lethals, MB Customs, Rages. I mean, every top dog chassis maker in the country's got the best guys in their cars at that race. Sabraski he'd never been in that car till Thursday night.
He ran it last year.
Did you run it?
Yeah, he did run it last year a couple times.
Okay, so I stand corrected.
It's not like he's had a million laps in it, but obviously he's one of the best in the modified.
He jumps into that thing, and I mean they don't run a lot of this stuff. I mean, Clayton's not running a lot of this stuff, and they throw a set of American Racers on it. Now he did this with a Wissota motor, mind you.
He did.
He had a Wissota concept in that thing, so he was giving away 150 horse. and he was on alcohol. If he could have run a motor with gas, because fuel burn off is what killed him at the end of the race, he'd have won him by straightaway. I mean, that's how good Shane Zabrowski is, but that's also that's the kind of quality of stuff that Jay McDonald builds too. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
you don't go to a race like that with a wheelbarrow and think you're going to compete.
And it was it was a finesse track for them. You know, they tried. I think they just watered or tried to do something. It really didn't actually. It rubbered up really late in the end of that late model race. Really late. Right on the bottom, kind of latched down a little bit, but it wasn't like hammered down rubber because we went over and looked at everybody's tires, and Hammer's tires were fine, and Bab's tires were fine, and Chad Simpson was parked on the other side of us, and his tires were fine. His attitude really wasn't fine, and
getting a Christmas card from Davenport.
Well, we might as well just tell the story right now. You went to find the bathroom, and I was standing behind Kyle Hammer's car with Kyle Hammer had one of Nick Hoffman's guy running with them last weekend, and we were standing behind the car, and I look over, and Chad Simpson's just flailing his arms and going off, and this old Superman, JD, Jonathan Davenport's on his pit bike, apologizing for some sort of move that he threw, and I didn't see it. I guess Davenport got a kind of power chop Brent Larsen and got a left rear flat. He was running second and got in with a lapper and had a flat. So Davenport had to come in, and when he was coming back through the field, him and Chad Simpson got into it, and so it was kind of entertaining to see. It wasn't the old couple B mods or couple Wissota street stock guys going at it. It was Chad Simpson and Jonathan Davenport going at it. So it's kind of cool to see a couple drivers at that level going at it. And Simpson wasn't happy, and he basically said, well, you're probably going to win the $1 million, but I'm going to dump you anyway. So, so all you fans out there watching, those guys probably aren't listening to our podcast. You never know. Maybe Jonathan Davenport is listening to our podcast. He did smile at me on his way by after he did, but so they were going at it. So we'll have to watch the $1 million to see if Simpson and JD get into her.
Well, outdoor ain't the place to wreck somebody.
Yeah, that is true. But the way Simpson was acting, he was spitting. One of his pit guys came over and was actually talking to him. He's like, Chad's mad.
Yeah.
I've seen him mad before. He's like, but he's really mad.
That there was some hurt feelings in that race. Our buddy Aho, him and Puka, they got the One to Go show going on. And they always got the Donkey Awards.
Yep.
Well, we're not going to steal the Donkey Awards, but we got to come up with our own award, and it definitely goes to Tyler Bruning. This was interesting. So late model race is going on, and Bruning's got a fast car.
Bruning was really fast.
Yeah.
And Turbo was too, and all those guys were, but Bruning came from, I don't even know where he started, but
he was back there a little ways.
He came from 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and he was going by guys like they were parked.
He was the class of the field. Well, he was second, but when Superman cut his tire down, that kind of took him out of contention. But so this thing's going on and on and on, and he just keeps picking off cars and picking off cars and picking off cars. And next thing you know, he's leading the race. And we're about, I don't know, there's about 17 to go, and you could start to see things were changing, and all of a sudden you could smell rubber, and the track locked up. And all he had to do was literally ride it on the bottom, and he had $50,000. Well, he was going at a hellish pace because like he was the whole race, and he caught up to good old Lance. And instead of following Lance, he decided to drive through Lance and took them both out and turned his $50,000 into $2,000. And I hope Mike Marlar sends him a thank you card.
He probably should. I saw Matthew spinning. I didn't see Bruning pile up in there, but the way you could hear, we were sitting in the pit grandstand in the back straightaway, and as soon as it happened, all you heard was, "Oh!" So obviously you knew, and then you saw Bruning sitting there. I think he actually turned up towards the wall, didn't he? Wasn't he sitting up nose towards the wall? I don't remember, but anyway, they were all piled up.
Yeah, he was up by the wall, and Lance was spun out in the middle of the corner, and it was funny. I was sitting next to Bobby Pierce's mom, and she just looked at me. She goes, "He just gave away $50,000." I says, "Yep." All he had to do was follow him. She's like, "It's obvious. Everybody's in the same line." I don't know.
And I like
It's
I said,
unfortunate for him.
I don't think there was another lane there above that.
No.
A couple guys were trying on the restarts, but you weren't gonna get after
Those guys went backwards every time they tried to do it. It was latched up on the tires, and I don't know. That's unfortunate for him, but
yeah, in a really good battle. Turbo and Marlar put on a pretty good show there. They were getting after it. I mean, we had a great view getting into 3, and those two were hitting that corner wide open, and Turbo would drift up, kept you cushion, and Marlar would keep it. And they ran side by side for a few laps, so it's obviously a really good race. A little, it could have been an epic ending if it went to latch down in the bottom. But it started a little earlier, but I think that restart was about
17 to go is when it started, and then there was another one with about 12 to go, and it was done.
Yeah, and it was kind of so I think it would have been a really entertaining. But it was good to get down, check the facility out, and all the equipment they got there. I know we checked out their scale area. We were checking out concessions. Obviously, we help run the track up here. So whenever you go to a different track you've never been to, and especially Mississippi Thunder, they do a great job down there, Bob, Tim, and the boys, and just to check things out and see how their concessions go, see how their grandstand is, all that good stuff.
I think Bob and Tyrone pretty well got it locked down. They do a good job down there.
How about in the middle of nowhere? I mean, it's basically like when you're coming to Deer Creek.
Yeah.
You're coming down the road, and all of a sudden you look to the left, and
it's no different than Cedar Lake.
Boom, there's a racetrack there.
It's the same deal, and that's where all these good places are because they don't have to worry about cities telling them what they can and can't do. We're racing today.
I think we parked out in the middle of a hayfield, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I don't know. It was good. I was talking to some other guys that were from around there, and they said that was new dirt too. Nothing didn't have a ripple in it after they got that hole taken care of.
That little
in
bump
turn 1.
getting into 1 when
Jimmy got the business end of that deal, which was unfortunate for him. But
yeah, he kind of hit that hole straight and he bottomed out, and then you're nothing. You ain't turning. You're not doing nothing. You put her in the wall. Simpson actually almost did the same thing a couple laps later in qualifying. It's pretty wicked bump getting into 1, and they kind of got that thing fixed. It went out there and bladed it for a while, and but overall, I thought good racing down there. Night got a little long.
Got a lot long.
Hot laps was at 5, and
pulled in the driveway at 3:30 a.m.
We left right at the start of the mod race and watched it on the phone on the way home. I think it got over about 12:20, so it was a little over about 7.5 hour show. So, but grandstands was packed, the pits were packed. You could kind of tell it was a long week. Talking to some of those guys, it was a long week down there. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely, it is. I mean, 3 shows in 3 days is tough. It's tough on racetracks. It's tough on competitors. It's tough on employees. It's tough on everybody.
Crews, the travelers. So, and now both the major series that are off this week, World All the Late Models and the Lucas, but it doesn't mean they're not going to have a
tonight
couple 4-day swings in different areas of the country.
Spoon River tonight.
Yep, little Illinois swing. Spoon River's kicking off. Now that's a flow, right? That's a Castro race.
Yep.
Castro Night in America. Is that what they call
Castro
that?
Night in America.
Presented by Flow Racing.
Yep.
Kyle Larsen going to be both there tonight?
I would imagine.
I think he's second point, so I would assume
Castrol's and they're at Lincoln tomorrow night.
Correct. Spoon River, it's Illinois, then Lincoln, and then
Speed, accuracy, endurance, focus, and great communication skills are talents that get a race car driver to the checkered flag. These are also just a couple of talents that Jay Von Bank with Quality Real Estate has to help you with all your real estate needs. When you work with Jay during your real estate journey, you can rest assured that he will give everything he has to achieve the end goal that you desire. His devotion to the community and family will have you glad you chose Jay Von Bank with Quality Real Estate, where you'll bank on his expertise.
The Mars Series is at Farmer City and
Fairbury,
right?
10 and 30.
So it's a 10 and 30 grand, and check out all the dirt late model guys' schedules. I know Turbo, Shepherd, Pierce. There was one surprise guy going to Illinois. I can't remember who it was right now. Devin Moran. Devin Moran's going to be in Illinois. He's not going to the Colossal. XR Super Series has got their the Colossal, they're calling it, in Charlotte for 4 days. And that's 25, 25, 25, 50, correct?
Correct.
So, and did you see the entry list? Someone posted it
I didn't even look.
yesterday. So obviously, there's a great entry list down there. They had, I want to say, almost 50, 60 cars on that one, which they're probably going to get for that kind of money. You don't have to travel.
Right.
But they're going to get a good car count in Illinois, too. So hop on, I would assume it's on Flow. Spoon River will be on Flow Racing tonight. XR Super Series will obviously be on Race XR. If you're into watching some late model action online tonight
I'm
on
watching
your own
Illinois.
TV, we'll watch it. Well, you can watch them both because they're different time zones. So
I'm watching Illinois.
Illinois would be good.
I love them tracks over there.
Spoon River is a decent track. It's not a Fairbury or Macon or anything like that, but Charlotte's going to be a good show too. And I think the World Outlaw Sprint cars are in Illinois too, aren't they?
No, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania,
I
there you
believe
go.
they went. Yeah, I think it's round one of the posse.
Are they running tonight?
Mm.
Are they Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
I haven't looked. They've had so many rain dates. I just kind of quit watching because it's rain out, rain out, rain out. So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, Thunder was good. I'd do the Thunder again.
Yeah, for sure. And it was. I mean, the driving's the driving, but once
Then
you
we-
get there, at least when we drove the 4 hours, at least we were there for 5 hours. Not like we went for 4
Well,
hours.
right.
We were only there for a couple, but it is what it is. But no, it was overall a good show. It was good to see.
Good to see some folks again.
Good to see some people and all those late model guys. Just get the. It's nice we get to know some. We know some people too with that, so it's not like we're strangers when we're walking around.
Right.
We can check out haulers and we can check out cars and do all that stuff. And like I said, we know a whole bunch of mod guys down there too. So it was kind of nice just to walk around and BS with anybody we could see.
It was a nice break from a long winter. So then we went to Ferguson Friday too.
We did was get obviously some of the Wissota local actions getting rolling around slowly but surely. Still a whole bunch of cancellations this week too as well. Obviously the weather's not doing real well and people not being able to work on the track. So it was obviously good to see some cars on the track, especially up at I-94. It's a obviously very fan friendly environment to go up there, and obviously everybody's aware Don put new surface down on the track and redid it again this week. And if there's one thing about Don Shaw, he's gonna do whatever it takes to get it right, and he will. And we obviously all know we're gonna do that. And actually, the heat races after they kind of watered there, they weren't all that bad.
The heat races were damn good.
I think it was Schill and Sean Meyer had an awesome heat race up there. Probably one of the best heat races you're going to see.
That was the best late model heat race I've seen in 20 years. I mean, it was 5-6 laps of door to door,
and it was wide open because the track was fast. I mean, they were getting after it too. So, and obviously got a little choppy over 1-2, but hey, we get that. And like I said, we know Don's he's gonna put his heart and soul and get that baby figured out. But to be honest with you, those top 4 guys in the mod, they put on a show. They really did. I mean, when you got TPO and Joe Thomas, and actually Dusty Bitson had to get up on the wheel and get her up on the high side over in 1 and 2. Lee Gross with his pogo stick modified had a little bit of hard time getting through the ruts, but
put a sprint car guy in a modified on a rough racetrack, and it's going to be entertaining.
yeah, and well, we talked to Don Eichens. Eichens probably had the fastest car on the track, and
Eichens went for the fastest ride too.
he did. He hooked the rut and hooked straight right, and we talked to us. We were standing over there. He said, "Yeah, I'm a little sore, but I'm glad nothing happened to his car because that could have been bad. He could have wadded up some cars."
Well, and he was more worried about that there was somebody on the outside of him because he said that as
Absolutely.
fast as he got turned, he said it would not have been a good deal. And luckily there wasn't. But I hear some people bitch and complain about how the track got rough. It's no secret to anyone that he put new surface on that track. Everybody knows that. And that's part of the game. When you put new dirt on, you're going to have that.
Do you think those guys around the late models at Eldora cared? Some of them did. Kyle Larsen and Davenport, some of them, they don't care.
No.
They run through it. Set your car up. Get her figured out.
Some guys load up, some guys race. Here's the fact of the matter. It's typically a 2 or 3 week deal to get those things ironed out. It takes time.
Yep.
And the only way that you fix it is by fixing it and then racing on it.
Yep.
And then it'll rear its ugly head again, and then you got to fix it some more and race on it. And like you say, after you do it 2 or 3 times, everything's happy. I'll say one thing about that dirt. I think it's going to be good. I think it's got a lot of bite.
Yeah. And when that, and like I said, every track around here, especially when you get into the dog days of the summer, and they're hard to maintain with the sun and the wind and all that good stuff. But no, he'll get her figured out, and I know I think they're running. I'll probably head up there in a couple weeks. I think they got super stocks heading up there. Does he got his Johannic deal coming up, or King of the Dirt, or whatever he calls it? I don't. I haven't. I got to look into these schedules. I haven't even had my car out of the shop yet, so. It's still sitting in the garage. It's still on Jackson's. I ain't even touched the thing yet, so I have to start checking these schedules out and maybe start hitting some racing myself.
It's hard to get too motivated, though, when the weather sucks, and it's starting to shape up now. So I'm really – we've talked a lot about the late models coming to Viking this weekend. I'm really excited to see the counts in the other classes.
Yep.
Because I've been, I think we got a little mojo going. We ended the year well last year. I'm hearing a lot of good things. A lot of people planning on coming and racing. We got a smooth racetrack. That's one thing that we know. We don't know what's going to happen, but we know it's smooth.
Right.
Practice on it Saturday. It was smooth. That's going to draw cars because the tracks that have been open so far have been pretty rough for the most part, and it's just a byproduct of the season. So, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'm really curious to see how many short trackers we have.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, you heard a whole bunch of people building them this winter. Be interesting to see, and who knows? We'll see what they come out. And like I said, they're obviously budget racers, and probably might wait a little bit depending how many shows they can get in. But looking at I think our street stock count's going to be great. I think our Midwest mod count's going to go up a little bit. It'd be interesting to see what goes down with the super stock. We have obviously our super stocks we have the best following as far as locals. There's 10, 12 of us that have been racing together for 10, 12 years, darn near. And we all show up every single week. So it'd be interesting to see who else kind of shows up, especially with not some, Madison not open up, Cary don't open up till next following week. So it'd be interesting to kind of see who shows up in that class. I think obviously there's no mods this weekend. Obviously with the Challenge Series coming to town, we obviously have to do what's best for the track and financial reasons and things like that. But we'd obviously like to have them here, but obviously we can't do that. We have to make sure. We got to watch the checkbook, actually. So it's kind of the reason with the mods and stuff there. So we'll get them back the following week. But it's going to be definitely interesting to see the rest of those classes and the competitiveness and see who else shows up.
We're not only getting the modifieds back, but we got the Lineman Race.
Absolutely. Kicking them off
with
a bang, too.
This is crazy. This is nuts. Are we crazy?
No.
I guess we're going to find out.
Crazy or stupid, one of the two, right?
Yeah, we got to thank Viking Coke and Integrity Title for hopping on and sponsoring this Challenge Series race this weekend too.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple. Obviously, Integrity Title's been with the racetrack for years, and obviously now the Viking Coke's been getting back in this area, and I think those boys are down out there at the track almost every single day, doing something, getting some signage up, getting our product delivered, all that good stuff. So those guys do.
They're very good partners to have.
We'll give them a shout out and tell them they actually work hard. If we see them, does that mean they're working hard?
Well, let's not you can't say too much because, Michelson's our rep over there and he's racing his late model here this weekend. So
I shouldn't say that Michelson sits in my office for 20 minutes and we talk racing in the middle during the Blizzard hockey season. I shouldn't say that on this or what? No.
Well, you can say whatever you want, but yeah, we can't say too much about him because we wouldn't want to be accused of being homers.
Right. No, so that's obviously a couple great sponsors hopping on board, and our class sponsors. We're obviously doing some stuff on Facebook this week to get some recognitions of some sponsors. So obviously, we need to take care of them too. But
hey, speaking of Michelson, before we totally get off the rails here, New track record at I-94
I
last
seen
weekend.
that.
I'm going to tell you what.
And then I started, then people started pulling up results. You know what I mean? And Sean Meyer beat him by a 10th, and Dave Moss actually ran a 10th quicker. So who knows? But the flip side is, he either beat it or tied it, or he's right there.
That's impressive to me. And you know what's more impressive? Everybody knows he can wheel a car. He's run that limited for Rocky, and that's good. He's fast in his late model. That's a SSR chassis. That's the only one that's out there. It was the first one that was built. It's not that got that many races on it. That's pretty impressive. And he's a competitive guy. He's got basically a one of a kind car running against all these guys with all this R&D support and help. And he's in the upper echelon. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know he's getting a bunch of help from SSR, which obviously when you have that, I know at practice last year he had it out, and I talked to him a bunch this winter too, just about the research and the stuff they're doing, and he's always Ryan's always heads on a swivel, so to speak, and looking at ideas, what these guys are doing, processing. Hey, let's do this to my car and stuff like that. So, like I said, we got a lot of time to talk during Blizzard hockey season after practice is done, and he's loading up the pop cooler. We can get some racing talk in too. So, and it's always good to talk racing, no matter when it is, whether it's during the winter or during the summer. So, no, it's good, and he's definitely putting the time into it. And now, if he can get a horse to stay together underneath that baby, and then he's going to be competitive wherever he goes.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm really interested to watch the local guys this weekend. Him and Bryce, see how they run. I think they're going to both run really well. They don't get to race here that much anymore, but I think it's going to be a good deal. So, well, they're probably sick of listening to us by now, huh?
Probably. Once we start rocking into with some results and all that good stuff, it'll go by a little quicker. Like I said, we'll start prank calling people.
We're gonna get some controversy, and then we're gonna start dragging other people in here.
Right. If like certain drivers don't show up, we're just gonna call them. Yeah. We're gonna be like, "Where were you Saturday?" Throw them right underneath the bus, right on the podcast, and make them answer a question. Yep. Right.
I'm game.
That's how we should do it. So no, it's awesome. Obviously, Saturday, May 14th, the 57th annual Viking Speedway opener, the Structural Buildings Wissota Challenge Series, Super Stocks, Midwest Mods, Street Stocks, Short Trackers, all in action. No modifieds this weekend, and green flags flying at 6:30. Grandstands open at 5. Pit gate's going to open at 4. So make sure you head on out. You want to get there a little early. Just a FYI, there is a rodeo going on over at the RCC. It's kind of parking's pretty much going to be come first serve. So work with each other. No road rage out in the parking lot. Get to your event. And like I said, there's probably going to be some haulers floating around too. So if you want to get there a little early, check out some of these guys pitting outside, and some of these late model the haulers. There's going to be some cars out in the parking lot, and get there early. Come check some things out. We got a whole new party zone that's going up. The Marthaler party zone is going to be downstairs across from the beer garden. So we got hopefully a bunch of new and fun, exciting things at Viking Speedway.
It's going to be a dandy. There isn't really much else to say about it other than just be there.
Yes, absolutely. Make sure you hop on Facebook, Instagram, VikingSpeedwayMN.com. Also, you can't make it, VikingSpeedway.tv. We're kicking off. We got a whole bunch of cool stuff going on with our broadcast this year too. We're going to have live timing, scoring, sponsors, some commercials. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of cool stuff with our Dirt Race Central feed too. So, like I said, we're trying to make things new and improved, and keeping up with the times, and trying to make Viking Speedway hey, we're in the entertainment business. We need to entertain.
You got it. I suppose we should probably thank good old Jay Von Bank from Quality Real Estate one more time for sponsoring this Gong Show.
For being the title sponsor of The Dirt.
The Dirt. And, we're probably going to drag him in here, too. Because He must not listen to this because I make fun of him every week and he hasn't called me out on it yet, so we might have to make fun of him in front of his face. Like right on the podcast.
Or really, really make fun of him on here.
Yeah. To the point that
someone sees them out in the public and be like, dude, they roasted you.
No, we won't beat him up too bad. But yeah.
Well, awesome. Always good talking, Dan. And obviously, we'll see you. I think I might go racing Friday night. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I think I got to get my car out of the shop and get some laps on it. And I don't want to show up to, I think I do have obviously a few laps at Viking Speedway, but I'm going to go shake her down somewhere and go racing. And
where are you going to race?
I'm probably going to head down to Monty.
You ain't going to race in Monty.
Sure am.
See all the rain they're supposed to get the next 2 days?
You just got done saying it doesn't matter what the track conditions are like. You need to man up.
It does when they rain out.
If it rains out, it rains out, then I ain't going. But you need to man up, pedal to the metal. If something happens, fix it.
Oh, I guess you got a point.
We're dirt track racers.
Yeah, I guess if we wanted to be high maintenance, we'd pave the track, right?
Man up and race.
Yeah. All right. Well, then you go race. And I think I'm going to probably go up to Fergus and watch that $5,000 to win show.
That's going to be a good show. I debated that, but I can watch it on my phone.
Depends on the weather, you know. You know what? I might just be to the point by the time this week is over with getting everything ready at the track where I'm just going to say the hell with it and not do anything.
It's a possibility. It's a good possibility.
It's there, you know. So,
Anyway,
till next time.
Till next time. Saturday night, Viking Speedway, 6:30 p.m. Green flag flies. Have a good one, folks.
This summer, LL Bean invites you to simply step outside and enjoy the fresh air and sunshine. We'll be your guide with tips and advice to get more out of every moment outdoors. Here's one. If you want to always have a quick patch and repair kit on your camping trip, wrap a few feet of duct tape around a water bottle or hiking pole. When you need a piece, simply peel one off. For more fun ideas, easy how-tos, and inspiring stories, visit llbean.com/guide.
It's Tango Day, everybody. Follow after me and step and back and slide and dip. That's tango.
Why is Ice-T leading our tango class?
It's probably the Honey Nut Cheerios. He found out they can help lower cholesterol. Now he's having fun taking care of his heart in all sorts of new ways.
Let's see those hips move, people.
Learn more by picking up a box of Cheerios and check out our Pour Your Heart Into It audio workouts with Ice-T and Buzz to get your heart pumping.